Yo, what's up team? I am here and I'm ready to give you guys that real review, and that's for real. If you're new to the channel, let me explain how I get down my movie reviews. I give 2 grades in my movie reviews. I give you guys that home experience grade and I give you guys that critic grade. With that being said, let's get into this movie review, The Death of Superman. Let's talk about this story. This story is based off the popular comic book called The Death of Superman, where we find Superman going head up with an unbeatable creature named Doomsday, and he dies. That's what the movie's about. Let's talk about the story. Let's kind of talk about how they were able to take the comic book and transition over into film. Let's give a rundown of this. I thought they did a good job at this because there were certain elements in the comic book that made the comic book so special, and they were able to take most of those elements and bring them over into film. I appreciated it because I haven't read the comic book in years, but it kind of, watching the movie kind of brought back the feelings as a youngster watching the movie. And it was certain things, because I remember this in the comic book, that, you know, certain pages that once it got to the fight scenes, you know, Superman wasn't talking. It was just, each scene was just action, you know, destruction and Doomsday coming and, you know, wrecking Superman, Superman coming back with blows and blows and the world shaking. You were able to really feel that throughout the story, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, they added a couple little aspects in there a little bit more than normal because they had to make it more story grounded, but I did appreciate what they did give me. What I didn't like was the fact that you should have just gave me the movie, just gave me the comic book. You could have just gave me the comic book, start the motherfucker off like it should start off. Don't give me no dialogue about Clark, tell me about his lifestyle. I don't care about none of that shit. Start the shit off with the battle.
He ain't lying.
Show the Justice League encountering Doomsday, hands down, baby. I would have been like, okay, give me like 30 minutes of this shit. Give each Justice League member their time to shine, showing their ultimate abilities, and watching Big Blue come down to save the day. Now, I would have preferred that more so than what I kind of got in the beginning, because it was like they wanted us to feel bad for Superman. They wanted us to know that he's more than just Superman. And I get it. For the newcomers that come in and watch these movies that don't know who Big Blue is, I get that. But for me, I know who he is. And I'm an original fan of DC and Superman. And when I see, when you hear these titles, The Death of Superman, I'm like, okay, I want to see this. For the most part, they gave me it, but I wanted more. You know what I mean? I wanted that comic book. That comic book was intense, man. I recommend anybody haven't read it, go back and read that comic book. That shit was intense. It was so bad that motherfuckers were crying and shit after reading the comic book. I mean, how many niggas cry after reading comic books? You dig what I'm saying? And I appreciate what they did, but it could have been better. What also, another thing I didn't like about it was the fact that, you know, when you wrote the, well, I guess this is not more of a story. Let's get into the cast and characters. I thought the voice acting was on point. I love the voice acting. They fit the characters. My favorite part of the movie, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, was the Flash. Best voice acting, best character design. He looked the most authentic, made me feel like the 92 Flash. And I dug that. When I looked at Wonder Woman, and I looked at Superman, and I looked at Martian, Cyborg's okay. I didn't like them. Like, not like the characters, but I didn't like their design. Like, Big Blue shouldn't have been New 52 Big Blue. Nah. Should have been 92 Superman. This movie should have really, they should have just said F it and bring us the 92 Superman Justice League. That's what they should have gave us. I mean, I wanted to see all of them. Booster Gold. I wanted to see freaking Blue Beetle. I wanted to see all of them original characters. I think they would have really struck a chord if they had did it that way. The original Superman suit with that yellow and that red and them drawers and shit. Just Superman, bruh. Superman. I don't like that New 52. He was all dark navy blue, and he didn't look right to me personally. It wasn't. That's not Superman. And they were trying to make him They were trying to make him the 92 Superman, but he looks like New 52. And Wonder Woman's suit, don't get me wrong, it looks good. I like it, but it was New 52. It wasn't the original Princess Diana. Martian Manhunter was all frail in the face and little in the waist. Nigga, I'm like, what's going on, bruh? Give me the Martian. Show that cock, homie. Show me this nigga. Give it to me. Come on, man. Come on. And then, you know, another thing I didn't like, too, is the fact that in this new 52, they show us Justice League War and stuff. They give me Shazam, but then they don't put Shazam in the movie. Like, what's going on? I didn't like the costume design, well, the drawing and stuff. I just, enough with New 52. Stop giving me that shit. When you go back to certain comic books, man, you gotta give me them characters, man. Batman didn't look like Batman, bruh. It was that New 52. He had them little narrow ears and shit, bruh. Come on, man. Personally, voice acting on point. Character design sucks. I didn't like it, but the Flash. He's the only one that I really dug. Everybody else, even Green Lantern shit, they were like, what the freak? They weren't them to me. It just really hurt. Like, it was like, oh. But Doomsday. Now, Doomsday looked tight. Doomsday looked tight. I was looking forward to the scene with the Canary, and I didn't get it. I wanted that scene, yo. I wanted that scene with the Canary. I didn't get it. Oh, I didn't get it, man. Let's talk about the directing. This movie was directed by two individuals, Sam Liu and Jake Castorina. I thought, for, you know, usually when you see two type of directors, sometimes movies don't really play out well, but they did their best. They really were able to capture the action part as far as the Justice League using their abilities, Superman going down. It was just a certain parts that I really wanted to feel something, but it didn't work. And I don't think it was mostly on their directing part. It was just the way the animation looked. That New 52 shit really drug, man. It just doesn't spark. The New 52 don't spark, yo. It don't spark. They gotta stop drawing that New 52 shit, man. Cause I would have, bro, I'm telling you, it was the 92 Justice League. In the funeral of Clark as Superman, it just didn't feel authentic. It was still missing something. It was missing that original animation of the 92 Justice League look and the Justice League. I don't care about 7 members, man. I'm talking about the Justice League. The Justice League. The world felt this. So you telling me out of all these Justice League members, only 7 of them popped up? Nah, I ain't believing that shit, bruh. I wanted to see everybody come down, bruh. Cause y'all gotta remember, Doomsday was wrecking shit, bruh. That's what and those are things that I needed. I really needed that. The music was whatever. Didn't nobody care much about that. I wasn't paying attention to that. What else? Home entertainment factors. Well, personally, I have a home entertainment system, so I can, you know, subwoofer and all that stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie though, it did sound good. The encountering, the impacts, the destruction sounded really good. I also enjoyed visually, like when you see it, it looks good. Don't get me wrong, it really looks good. It has great high definition factors and none of that little extra zigzag, and it really was crisp on the screen and it sounded really good. Home experience was on point. I ain't gonna lie. Pros and cons about this movie. Pros, I like the fact, this one thing I did dig, that they acknowledged that people were looking forward to Superman's arrival when anything went wrong. Like Superman he became the savior. He became the savior. And I feel like that part was forced because of what they gave us previous films where he was a douchebag jerk, but now he's Superman. And it was a scene where it was a cat in space and he was like, they were gonna die. And he was like, Superman's coming, I know he's coming. Oh my God, Superman's coming. And it was an asteroid killed him. I laughed, I ain't gonna lie, I laughed. But it was really cool seeing it because it was like, okay, people really believe in this man, Superman. And it actually kind of put the weight on his shoulder for me. I dug that. What I didn't like, for the most part, was that it was too short. And they really should have just made the comic book film, word for word, scene for scene.
He ain't lying.
It's kind of like how they did Batman: The Killing Joke. It was like they added in a little too much, and it kind of threw off the story. Because quite frankly, the things they added in was better than what the original. And you know, I ain't gonna get all into that, but you know, they added too much in, and it kind of messed the story up. They should just really kept that shit 100 originally from the original print. That's for the most part what I didn't like. Let's grade this thing, man. Home experience, yo. I'm about to give this movie in a home experience a solid B. It was really cool watching it. It was sometimes it did drag a little bit because they were trying to make us feel something for Clark. And I was like, I don't care, just get into the action part. It's called The Death of Superman, not The Life of Superman. I was really expecting a little bit more in the beginning. I wanted to really hit. I wanted more from Doomsday, just watching on the screen. Could have been a lot better home experience wise, but it was a solid B. Real talk. Let's rate this movie as a critic. Coming in watching this movie, not knowing anything about Superman or the story of the death of Superman, just watching the film for what it is. Dialogue, story, animation, voice acting, everything. The movie's an A-, straight up. It's a freaking A-. It's an amazing film. It's one of the best Warner Brother animation films in a very long time. They gave us a lot of depth on Clark and Superman, Lois Lane relationship, and Superman interacting with the Justice League before heading up with Doomsday. We got a lot of elements around him in a little bit of time. Thought it was a really good animation film. The animation was crisp. The sound was on point. I recommend if you have a sound system, listen to it on your sound system. You will truly appreciate what you hear. You hear the little aspects in the background, niggas blowing up and shit like that. You'll really appreciate it a lot. I want to thank everybody for joining your boy J3 on this real review, and that's for real. I want to give a big shout out to Team J3 and my Patreon family, and also give a big shout out to my homeboy CISO. What up, bruh? Appreciate you, man. Much love. J3 out.